Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. So I want to have a chat with you about the presidential debate, and honestly, my first reaction to this whole thing is embarrassing. It is disappointing as an American that these are the final two candidates. It's disappointing that these are the only two candidates. And my personal opinion on this thing is I wish both parties would step up to the plate and replace their nominee or candidate, however word you want to say it. I think it's awful. I find it really troubling as well in our media, be it if you want to call it on YouTube media or mainstream media or whatever, is that very few people are honest about this very, very clear point. And that's why I'm saying it very clearly. I don't like either of these guys. I guess the question would be, is there a better candidate? I'll let you guys decide and make up your own mind. But the problem is that we have like one guy who's just crazy, there's no other way to put it, and a criminal, a felon, like literally a felon. And another guy who's, there's no way to put it, is senile and just getting old. It's obvious. He's getting old and spoke really, really slowly. And you know, it really is the worst of two evils. I'm 49. I've lived through a lot of elections, and I'm trying to think if I've ever seen anything like to this degree to where both choices are not great. There are differences between the two parties. That's true. So some people just vote for whatever party. It's true that there are some differences. I don't think the differences are as big as you think they are, and that's the parts that really irritate me about the election, to where people are like there's massive changes, but are massive changes coming if you vote for whatever person, right? Or there are massive differences, right? In either or. From a regular American's life, no matter who either of these guys going into office, they're not really going to be president. Just be honest about it. You guys know this. You know I'm not saying crazy stuff. They're going to be part of the machine. Nothing really major is going to change. It just, do you want someone crazy or do you want someone senile? We had this choice before, and this time around, and we have a big problem with it in USA of like people purposely, or and this is a hard question to answer, is like how many people out there are really delusional? Meaning that do people really believe that the misinformation, disinformation out there? It's a major problem. I think one thing that bothers me is there's so few people that have any backbone to call out their own party, and that's what we need more of, right? So it's always my party is awesome and the other party is no good, right? And you could say that both ways. What you need is you need to have your own in-group come out and call out people. So for example, if someone looks like me, right? If someone is Asian and they're a criminal, I would say, guys, that Asian person is a criminal. I have no problem saying that. So why do we have to defend the in-group? That part's bizarre to me, right? Simple example, I live here, actually here I'm in Vietnam right now, and there's a bug flying around, so gotta get the bugs. But, I live in Korea, and we actually convicted the president, President Park, and went to prison. And a lot of the younger, students, but a lot of the younger people were all for, convicting said president. And the old, people who defend the president, who was basically what it was corrupt, talking about the Korea situation, they were under influence by a cult leader. I'm not making it up. It's as crazy as it sounded. It was like this weird cult thing. There's weird cults in Korea. Who knows? And she was really, really dumb as well. So they had that also. So don't think that inadequate or completely unqualified candidates is only part of U.S. culture. It happens in other countries also. She won because her dad was a former dictator. Some of the old people are like, oh, I really like that dictator because the dictator got things done. I think the other thing that frustrates me about this whole debate between the two candidates as well is the way that things are structured, is that any candidate can come out and just make stuff up and no one calls them out on it. And people in whatever party, guys, it goes both ways, don't really care about the truth at all. And that stuff really bugs me. It really, really bugs me. And so generally, I don't make that many videos about politics in USA, mostly because there's just too much toxicity out there. There's too many people that don't care about facts at all. So how or why can we have conversations with average Americans who, again, don't care about facts, and then like, you know, are always hating on fellow Americans. And to me, it's really, really frustrating. I wish I could run. You know, it's just my particular situation. It's never going to happen. Asian Americans are not considered viable candidates in the USA. It is what it is. That's American culture. I guess the average voter wants two old guys, and that's it. That's who they want. And the whole thing is frankly laughable to me. Someone asked me, you know, about like, you know, could I run, et cetera, and I expressed my frustration at that. Not everyone is awful in government. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I am a huge fan of Lena Khan. She works over at the FTC, and she's into breaking up monopolies, which is great for the average person, right? There's no big advantage for like average person, right? Average voter to have monopolies. Like, say for example, the cable industry or internet industry in USA, where you get, like, you know, how would you like it? You got one choice, and you have to pay whatever high fee that they want to pay, want you to pay. I mean, no one wants that, right? It's the same way you kind of feel like the two parties in the USA have you know, monopolies, I guess, and for whatever reason the third party is not viable. Also, too, in USA, the third party candidates are always kind of weird. The whole thing is just it's just disgusting, and I guess I'm just expressing frustration. I honestly think, and this is a frustration I have with YouTube and with the channel in general, I honestly think the American voter, the American electorate, is just vastly misinformed, uninformed. Are they lazy? You know, who knows? It's crazy that it comes to this point. Like, you know, I'll give you an example. There's been a rumor going around that Biden is going to step down from, you know, the election, and then you get some, you know, fresh candidate. The top rumor would be like Michelle Obama come up, and like, I remember when I told my wife that, she's like, "Oh my God, really? Is it really happening?" Like it would just be a fresh, and that doesn't have to be Michelle Obama. It could be, you know, any number of people, or just imagine, like, I'm not sure who's popular in the Republicans. I just don't know who Republicans want. Let's just say Trump stepped down, and you know, he brought in some young, you know, 45-year-old dashing person, whoever, you know, that would be in that party. Yeah, you guys can tell me. The problem is, okay, so I'll give you an example. So let's say, for those of you who like Vivek's not stupid. He's not a stupid person. He graduated from Harvard, and, you know, how to even address this? Okay, he's not dumb, but he's out of touch with the regular person, and you can tell in some of the things that he says. You know, a lot of these people who, you know, lead the country, they're part of, like, I guess, like, you could call it a political elite class that you know, they say things that make you happy, not necessarily things that you need to hear or the country needs to hear, right? Also, too, the certain interests in the country are you know, take precedent over this average person. Case in point, and then some people say, you know, so why am I not a huge fan of Biden? I don't talk about that much, but guys, we're involved with the situation in Gaza. Like, there's no one out there that can give me any, like, solid reason of how, you know, aiding Israel in and unfortunately in being involved with the bombing of several civilians. I'm talking about a lot of civilian deaths. I take this stuff very, very seriously. Like, just tell me, how does that benefit average Americans? It doesn't. You know, moreover, then you have people who like Trump, and they just make crap up to say, oh, well, Trump was president, you know, we wouldn't be involved in that. And that's just simply untrue. It is untrue. I promise you, be honest with yourself, promise you. Let's say that there's some sort of, you know, terrorist attack in Israel. I promise you, Trump will be like, I'm the toughest president in the whole world. I'm going to send, you know, all our bombers, and we're going to go kill it. That's exactly what he would say, right? And all the people in that party would, oh yeah, let's go get him, yeah. And it's like no one's honest about that stuff. That is honestly what would happen. I really want to hear you say it differently. And it's like that kind of stuff where people just, like, make crap up. It makes me feel, it's so strange. And that's why I generally don't make videos about this stuff, because I just think the whole thing's a joke, and the candidates are a clown show. And, you know, if you watch the debates at all, we're not talking like adults anymore, right? One person makes something up, the other person says, you made it up, no I didn't, yes you did, and that's what it is. And another person, you know, calls someone names, etc. And it's like the way that I think about this stuff is, you know, for the candidate that you would want to, you know, have lead in the country is the kind of person that, say, would sit down with you at the kitchen table, tell you the truth on things, be honest with you, and say, you know, sometimes we got to tighten the belt or something like that, right? Also, too, I want someone who's going to be fair, and then kids are having fun over there. But you know, I want someone who's going to be fair to every group in the country. Our current politics, as it is now, is that you have one party that wants to only benefit a certain kind of groups, and you have another party that only wants to benefit certain kind of groups. There's got to be a new way of thinking about politics where we have candidates that talk about things that benefit all groups. I'll give you a very simple example, guys. If I, you know, were able to run, I would say, hey, we got to figure out how we can get Social Security solvent and Social Security working for everyone, right? And whatever that's going to be, is that going to be raise taxes? Is that going to be cut spending, right? I mean, it's just, we got to get the math to work. I am a technocrat. If you don't know what that means, it means like someone like myself, we don't care to play the political game. We care to play the numbers game, right? And so those are the kind of things I think the government numbers game, meaning like make the numbers work. Those are the kind of things I wish that we were talking about more. I'm all for, you know, supporting, you know, people, be it healthcare, education, transportation, these kind of things. I want for the, like, for example, if you put funding into healthcare, just for example, you know, make drugs affordable for more Americans, like why would any regular American debate that? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I would run on things that like you'd be crazy. Oh, I'd be like, could you imagine a family go there? Oh, I hate that Chris guy. He wants to make my drugs affordable. I hate that Chris guy. Like, it's so ludicrous, right? So you know, you have to pick and you know, run on platforms I think appeal to everyone. The problem is that, and you know, you guys can probably already felt my politics, you know, my beliefs on these things, but you know, you have a group of people that vote against their interests, right? They'll say, oh, you know, I just want Bibles in schools, and I don't care if you know, we have public education, and I don't care if we have, you know, healthcare for everyone. I just want Bibles in schools. Like, you have people that actually believe that's nonsense, and so it's hard to have discussions with that kind of irrational thought. You know, and what do you do about that kind of thing, you know? And if you want to play the other side, I completely understand when people say, you know, why is, you know, Biden and those people talking about trans and gay stuff all the time? So that's a long discussion, because that's not really a huge focus of the party. And if you believe it is, so be it. And if you believe it is also too, maybe they should just stop talking about it entirely, because like those kind of issues just aren't that important. You know, you'll read in comments sometimes of like, oh, well, what about all of the prisoners that get sex changes? Like, we have to pay for that. It's just like, okay, what do we? Was it like 20 million people a year do that? Is that what we're talking? Like, you'll talk about like one case that happens for one person out of, you know, 300 million Americans, and like act like it's like this huge thing. And so, all that stuff is this clown show stuff to distract you from the things that matter, right? Making sure that you and your family can afford a home, making sure you have a job, making sure your Social Security is there, making sure, like I said, your kids can go to school, making sure that healthcare can be affordable. So, anyway, that's my thoughts on this stuff. The whole thing is embarrassing, and I wish we had a better system, but I understand, guys, more than you know. I think the electorate is frankly, like I said, uninformed, believes a bunch of, you know, conspiracy things like that, and frankly wants to be lied to, and it's really a shame, and it's a hassle. So. I'll make a video about this every now and then from time to time, but you guys should get my opinion on these things. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you on the next video.